美国太空总署飞机破天荒来台湾，全台航空迷为之疯狂。
We have found that the Taiwanese authorities have been very accommodating, very interested not just in how we do the work, but the purpose of the work. And so we have found that they have embraced the benefit that this work will provide and have made our flights very easy to execute.
NASA 来亚洲执行空气品质侦测，却数次取到军用机场，莫非是跟军事任务有关？在立电师获得 NASA 跟驻韩美军的独家许可，亲自登机见证。美国太空总署进行亚洲空气品质的侦测任务，那三个新闻独家登上了这架 DC-8 的航空器，我们将从韩国乌山基地起飞，来进行韩国的高空侦测作业。
What you're pouring?
Liquid nitrogen.
What's that for?
It's for cooling the traps for our instrument.
确保仪器稳定，科学家早就登机进入备战状态，并且逐一回报任务主任。他是科学家与机组员的沟通桥梁。
KAMS ready. KCCS everybody.
他们机上有 WiFi， 那 WiFi 连上之后，我们就可以透过我们自己的手机，然后来得知我们现在所在的位置，那就可以大概知道说我们现在即将前往哪个方向。其实呢，我们还可以从上面得到很多讯息，就它有点像是小小的控制中心啊，就所有在上面侦测到的资料都会集中到这个资料库里面来。飞行轨迹、科学数据资料，甚至机舱外的实景影像都能一手掌握。飞机起飞才没多久，马上下降高度，准备在金浦机场做低空冲场，获取不同空域高度的污染资讯。
100.
这趟飞行任务从乌山基地往北飞过金浦机场后，往西从仁川机场的方向出海，并在黄海低空飞行。我们现在距离海平面只有600英尺，所以我们几乎是贴着海平面在飞行。那以一辆这么大型的飞机来讲，其实是非常不容易的。
February, March, there will be more directly north or more straight from the west, strong winds straight from the west, which comes from the really industrialized parts of China that can cause or contribute to very bad air quality in Korea.
Oh, is that?
It's cold to keep the filters cold till the end of the flight.
So
dry ice is in there.
透过机舱外的设备，他们可以直接取得空气样本。
We collect the air in these canisters, and then when we land, we ship the canisters back to our lab at UCI in California, and they do the analysis.
We are measuring trace gases, so things like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Over GIMPO, it's relatively cleaner. Less carbon monoxide produced when something's burned, but over here on the Yellow Sea, more carbon monoxide.
或是读取数值进行研究。机上共有26种仪器，来自美、韩、日等国家的科学家各司其职。
So we're measuring the aerosol optical properties, the microphysical properties, so how many particles there are and how big they are, and then also a little bit about the chemistry of the particles.
气溶胶是一种悬浮微粒，可在空气中漂浮数十分钟到几个小时，是污染传播的方式之一。首尔南下之后呢，一路往将近大邱的方向飞行。那为什么要飞到这么远呢？因为他们要观测风向带来的污染是能够带到多远。然而，为了取得不同高度数据，飞机不断拉升、下降，尤其进入山区，数度触发地面迫近警告系统。伴随着高风险，其实不如一般客机舒适，有很高比例乘客会晕机呕吐。
But I do have a patch behind my ear for motion sickness. You'll see a lot of people have them. So taking the medicine helps.
其实，在整趟飞行下来是非常辛苦的，最短要6个小时，最长要搭8个小时左右。那机组人员呢，还有所有的科学家都必须要找到时间，能够来调试自己，来好好的休息一下。那在后舱的空间呢，其实就是一个非常好的地方。这边有一个微波炉，让大家可以加热自己的食物。那这边还有个咖啡机，现煮咖啡机哦，然后他们会把它填充在这个保温瓶里面，让大家都能够享用。同时间呢，为了让大家都有一些冰品或者是热的东西可以保存，所以像这边呢有一个保冰箱。
这是他们放风的小天地。此行亚洲空气品质侦测工作延续好几个月，走访菲律宾、韩国、泰国，还有台湾。聚焦台湾工业城市，他们在南部做数次低空冲场。
As the day passes, how the heat from the sun changes the chemistry of the air. And so we repeat the same path several times so that we can get some time between those passes. We saw some really interesting things about the air quality in your country, including actually some surprising information about how clean it is in certain areas.
NASA 已经跟台湾的专家共享资讯，也郑重澄清这是纯粹的大气污染研究，军事目的是过度解读。
Even if the military was interested in our data, it provides no value in terms of anything that's strategically worthwhile.
DCA 执行任务50多年，这趟亚洲行是他的最后一舞。台湾搭上末班车，创下合作首例，也替未来台美合作开创更多的可能性。